We're ready when you are, Coach.
All right. Well, it was a heck of a football game, and super proud of our young man and our coaches, and just talked about fighting, throwing the first punch, and continuing to throw punches and make sure we throw the last punch. And our guys were very resilient. You know, they know it's a long year. They know there's lots going on in this COVID area that makes things challenging, and they really hung together this week. And so kudos to them for doing that. And we played a really good Pitt team today, a well-coached football team. You know, I thought we had a good plan. You know, I thought we used our tempo well on offense, changing our cadence up and getting them to give us a lot of free first downs in the first half. And they adjusted, we adjusted. Devin Leary really played a stellar game in his first start of this season. Very proud of him and the way the wideouts caught the football, the tight ends. Running backs took care of it on the road. We said no turnovers, and we were able to do that. You know, defensively, we hung in there. You know, we had some good red zone stops. We had a goal line stand. I had an unfortunate deal where we had a pick six that was called back, and I personally didn't think that was a very good call. But guys still stopped them on that drive. I just thought they were resilient. We are down in personnel right now, and so those guys really had to suck it up on that side of the football, and proud of them, very proud of them. I think it says a lot about the fight of these kids and these coaches, and, you know, very thankful to that, the way that they just take a tough situation and make it theirs and do something great with it. So proud of them and thankful for them. Questions?
Jonas Pope.
Coach, you talked about the youth of this team and to go on the road and to be down and have a game-winning drive. What does this do long-term for what Coach calls a character win? What does it do for their character long-term?
Yeah, I think it's huge for their character. It's huge for their confidence. You know, it's one thing to say we can do it. It's one thing to believe. It's another to go do it. And it's just a tremendous thing for your quarterback to know that it doesn't matter what's on the clock. He'll drive us down and score and win. And it was a really good drive. I mean, some good play calls by Tim. Kids executed well. They managed the clock and the time, and the O-line protected against a really, really good defensive line. So it's a huge character deal, to answer your question. And even, you know, the resiliency that they showed, it was awesome.
Go ahead, Brett.
Dave, could you address how thin you guys were in the secondary today? And when you look at a guy like Tanner Engel coming back from a couple of times he was down today, and the grit that he showed, how did that kind of carry over to the other guys that were out there trying to get the job done? Yeah, well, we found out on Thursday that we wouldn't have Tyler Baker-Williams because of contact tracing. And so we had Josh Pierre-Louis, a true freshman, start his first game. We moved Tyon Palmer during training camp from corner to nickel, and then last week had to move him back to corner. So he didn't take a rep of practice this week at nickel. Tyon didn't. So Josh Pierre-Louis goes out of the game, and we had to teach two linebackers how to play nickel on Friday. So, yeah, when you take Chris Ingram out, Tayshawn Smith out, Tyler Baker-Williams out, it's pretty crazy, you know, what we're dealing with. That free safety, Khalid Martin is out, as you guys know. Ashford is out. I think there's 6 DBs that are not playing that are in our 2 deep. So we're very thin. And so it says a lot about the heart and toughness of that group, and they need a cold tub right now is what they need.
Go ahead, Gibby.
Yeah, Coach, you touched on a little bit ago. You could have had 24-7 lead. You drop a touchdown pass, the pick six. Pitt comes back and takes the lead, but you guys hang in there and get the win. That has to make you feel really excited going forward.
It does. It says a lot about the toughness, the grit of these kids. I think the togetherness of this team. You know, a lot of people wanted to just throw us in the trash can after last week. And that's the world we're in right now. And these kids just hung together. The coaches hung together. And there's a lot of football left. You know, we got 8 more games. 9 counting today's. And so, you know, I think we've embraced the chip on our shoulder, and we're going to continue to do that and try to make the most out of the players that we have to coach and get ready for another great game next week at Virginia.
Schnittker.
Dave, you touched on Devin Leary already. Last year, at the point that he started playing, you guys had some injuries on the offensive line, some injuries at receiver, at running back. And then last week, obviously, he comes into the game where you guys are already down, and that impacts the play calling. Did it feel like today was almost the first time that we got to see Devin with a full deck on offense and a normal game script? And kind of how would you evaluate seeing him in that situation?
Yeah, I think that's a really good assessment by you. And I think as hard as it was for him to not play in the Wake Forest game, it was the right thing for us to do. You know, coming out of the quarantine that he had, it's given him time to get back to where he needed to be, and he's done a great job of taking coaching from Coach Beck. And so it was nice to see him with starting wideouts and starting offensive linemen and 3 rotational tailbacks and all the tight ends. I think you got a good glimpse of what he is and what he could be.
Go ahead, Toper.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I want to go back to the defense just for a moment because, you know, Pitt got a lot of yards, but I look at second quarter when you had them inside the 10, you hold them to a field goal. Third quarter, you get that big fourth down stop. What was the difference in the fact that, you know, the defense was bending a little bit, but you weren't breaking?
Heart. Yeah, I mean, it's just heart. I mean, we played a lot of football. There was a time there where offensively we weren't really getting a whole lot going, and we were out there a lot. I thought defensively in that third quarter, just a lot of heart and toughness. You know, obviously you don't want to bend but not break. You got to make plays. I think they got in some unbalanced, and we didn't adjust well a couple of times, and they had guys wide open because of that. So we got stuff we got to clean up. But when it counted, they stood up. They made some really key plays at key moments that showed a lot of resiliency and toughness.
Justin Williams.
Coach, you talked about earlier in the week how important it was going to be to stop the Pittsburgh run. On defense, you stop them to just 92 yards of rushing offense. Can you talk about just their play in the run defense and specifically Aleem McNeil's role in that?
Well, it's a joint effort. When you stop the run, it's not one guy. And obviously having Aleem in the middle helps. It always starts inside out. But, you know, as you guys know, we didn't play well in the rushing defense the first week because of our edges, and the second week for a myriad of reasons. And so it was great to see them get that shored up in game 3. And I thought we tackled better. There were some really good tackles in this game, some crisp contact plays on defense. They were striking people. It wasn't just dragging people to the ground. I mean, they were striking people in the run game. And so that was fun to see that, some knockback tackling. And guys were getting into game shape. You know, hopefully we'll have enough guys to continue to play. But it was fun to watch them fly around there for a bit.
Thanks, guys.
Rob McLean.
Yes, 2 questions regarding the passing game. First of all, how nice was it for you to see a vertical passing game that succeeded so well? And then second of all, how happy are you for Amizi to be able to make that big play at the end of the game?
Yeah, it was awesome for Emeka. I mean, he was struggling these past couple weeks just because his role wasn't too big yet. And he just kept fighting, kept working, kept practicing. Coach McDonald does a good job with him. He's really happy for Emeka to make that play. And, you know, he's earned it by continuing to work hard. So that was a big play for us in that drive. Obviously, the fourth down conversion with Thayer was huge, which led to the touchdown. So, but Devin was nails, man. He did a great job reading coverage and putting the ball where it needed to be.
Brett.
A lot was said during the week about Pittsburgh's pass rush. How big was it that your offensive line kept them off of Devin pretty much all day, especially without Justin Witt and maybe Tim McKay, and especially the way they got pushed around last week?
Yeah, no, obviously they took last game to heart. You know, we worked really hard on our pass rush fundamentals this week. There were some things that we got exposed on in week 2, and, you know, that's what we have to do. We have to take every week and try to get better. And I think our offensive line took that, giving up 6 sacks in a game, to heart. They saw what they were up against with Pitt's D-line, and, you know, Coach Garrison and them had a great plan. Tight ends and backs are all a part of that too, you know. I mean, there's a lot of times where they're in the protection with them. So, and then it's just Devin throwing on time, so not giving them too much time to get to him.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right, last question for our coach from Jonas.
Coach, you just had a quote when you said Devin was nails. When it's 1:44 remained on the clock and he's calm and composed, how much does that calm everybody else down? How contagious is that throughout the offense?
Well, that's what they need. You know, we've been waiting for him to become the guy, and We've always known what his arm was. And so this team believes in him. You know, you can see it in the locker room. They rally around him, and he's just calm and poised, and he's got a really, really good arm. He's a tough kid, and he really played a heck of a football game. I'm very proud of him, very happy for him.
All right, Coach, congratulations